بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. If you're watching this video and it's Salah time, please pause it and go pray and come back when you're done. Please check out the description section of this video to donate to Palestine and to support the channel. So the world's most hated man and genocidal maniac, Benjamin Netanyahu, just keeps sinking lower and lower. He just rejected a ceasefire deal proposed by supposed aggressors Hamas that even had pro-Israel propagandist Piers Morgan up in arms about the Israeli PM's lust for warmongering. It says a lot about you, BB, when you have the #1 Hamas condemner agreeing with Hamas over you. What I want to ask is, if Israel is defending itself against an aggressor as they've painted it, then why, when the supposed aggressor suggests a ceasefire, do you want to continue to defend yourself against someone who doesn't even want to fight? But like all Zionist propaganda, it doesn't have to make sense, as long as idiots and bigots believe it or just go along with it because they hate Muslims. That's all that matters to them. Let's look at the terms that Hamas are proposing for a ceasefire deal. Phase 1, a 45-day pause in fighting during which all Israeli women hostages, males under 19, the elderly and sick would be exchanged for Palestinian women and children held in Israeli jails. Israeli forces would withdraw from populated areas of Gaza and the reconstruction of hospitals and refugee camps would begin. Phase 2. Remaining male Israeli hostages would be exchanged for Palestinian prisoners and Israeli forces leave Gaza completely. Phase 3. Both sides would exchange remains and bodies. The proposed deal would also see deliveries of food and other aid to Gaza increase. By the end of the 135-day pause in fighting, Hamas said negotiations to end the war would have concluded. That sounds perfectly reasonable to me, especially when you consider the amount of lives that would be saved if this were to take place. But Bibi the Satan has rejected these terms, and I'll tell you why. The end of this genocide would be the end of his reign and political power, because before Israel invaded Palestine 5 months ago, the Israeli public were going to vote him out. Add that to the fact that the Israeli Prime Minister, his right-wing government and his extremist Zionist militia, the IDF, have a blank cheque from America to carry out an ethnic cleansing operation in Palestine. What bloodthirsty supervillain would want to give all that up, right? Let's take a look at a clip of Piers Morgan siding with Hamas over Israel for a change, while speaking to one of Bibi's government bots.
A lot of people around the world imploring Israel to have some kind of ceasefire, not least to get the hostages out, but also to stop the relentless killing of innocent Palestinians, women, children, and so on. But Netanyahu absolutely adamant tonight, no deal, no ceasefire. I just want to inform viewers about what the Hamas proposed deal was, as seen by the Reuters news agency. Phase 1, a 45-day pause in fighting, during which all Israeli women hostages, males under 19, the elderly and sick, would be exchanged for Palestinian women and children held in Israeli jails. Israeli forces would withdraw from populated areas of Gaza and the reconstruction of hospitals and refugee camps would begin. Phase 2, remaining male Israeli hostages would be exchanged for Palestinian prisoners and Israeli forces would leave Gaza completely. Phase 3, both sides would exchange remains and bodies, and Hamas is also calling for the complete withdrawal of Israeli forces from Gaza going forward. Emily, look, I think Israel had a right to defend itself, a duty to defend itself. But we now have, as we've heard, I think it's 12,000 children believed to have been killed. Another 20,000 or so have been orphaned. 2/3 of Gaza has been flattened. And here Benjamin Netanyahu says after 4 months, well, we're nowhere near finished. There's months more of this. We will continue until the last Hamas terrorist is gone. OK, but that may mean the entire Gaza Strip is gone, destroyed, flattened. It may mean, well, hang on. It may mean the number of children killed doubles to 20,000, maybe 30,000. At what point does this become, even to people who support Israel implacably about this, does it become just utterly disproportionate?
Well, I think proportionality isn't the actual question here. There's a very easy way to end this war, and that is to return all of the hostages and to surrender unconditionally. That is what Hamas should be doing. That is where the focus and the pressure of the international community.
But Emily, that would not.
That would no.
Benjamin Netanyahu. No, hang on. Benjamin Netanyahu has stated unequivocally this goes on until Hamas are finished, all of them. That means
exactly.
That means another 20,000 people have to be killed, right? Who are just the terrorists.
No.
So he's not going to stop if the hostages got released tomorrow.
But that's not true. I said
Netanyahu,
the unconditional,
Emily, let me finish. Let me finish my question.
Of Hamas.
I don't think Prime Minister Netanyahu has any intention, even if the hostages get returned tomorrow, of letting 20,000 Hamas terrorists remain in power in Gaza. He's going to continue.
But I already said that. I said the release of hostages and the unconditional surrender of Hamas on the ground. The more money that Iran is funding,
Emily, you cannot just
the stronger Hamas is.
You cannot just kill everybody in Gaza. You can't.
Israel is not intending to kill everyone in Gaza.
If they carry on for many more months,
we are risking.
They carry on for many more months. How many people are going to get killed? When it wanted to, at the start of this war, Israel had the power and capability to turn off the energy into Gaza, to turn off the internet, to turn off the water, to turn off the food supply. That is a form of occupation, even if you're not physically inside Gaza.
That's actually false.
What
That's
Israel
actually
is
false.
defending.
Well, it's not false. I don't think Israel should have that power over any Palestinian.
Wow. Seeing Piers Morgan come oh so close to condemning the IDF was a shocker. He still uses some of his usual ignorant pro-Israel buzzwords, but again, if someone as pro-Israel as him is siding with Hamas over Israel on a proposed ceasefire, then even the most hateful and delusional bigot has to admit these Zionists are war criminals. I mean, even the International Court of Justice now thinks so. The Zionist woman Emily Schrader Piers is debating with just spews the usual far-fetched narrative of Israel is justified in taking over 30,000 Palestinian lives because Israel is somehow committing accidental violence, as it's Hamas's fault that Israel is choosing to do calculated airstrikes on schools, places of worship and hospitals, whilst warning terrified civilians and children they will be attacked before they are attacked, but attacking them anyway. Emily, you are a psychotic mad woman. Piers even went as far as finally acknowledging that Israel is an occupying force in Palestine by stating that only an occupier would have the power to mercilessly switch off electricity, energy, water, the internet and the food supply in a country that is not their own. Piers Morgan also correctly stated that Netanyahu would not stop his genocidal agenda even if Hamas met all his demands. Let that sink in. The fact of the matter is that Hamas seems to want peace, an end to violence and to stop the loss of human life, and the IDF wants the opposite. You tell me who sounds like the extremist group here. If Bibi Netanyahu rejects his call for a ceasefire and continues to exterminate Palestinians in the tens of thousands, then international powers need to step in to force a ceasefire, as well as to arrest him and prosecute him for war crimes. My brothers and sisters, take a look at your families and be grateful they're safe, and just look outside your window and appreciate where you are, because we all have the basic privileges of food, water and shelter that our Palestinian brothers and sisters don't. We must pray for them, donate what we can and keep up the pressure for a ceasefire to take place. Thank you for watching. Make sure to join my free Telegram group via the link in the description, where we as Muslims can speak freely and without censorship about issues like this, and in order to guide and support each other in our deen. Or if you have more serious personal issues you need help with, please feel free to book a call with me. And remember to like, subscribe and become a channel member for access to exclusive content. Until next time, inshallah, Jazakallah khair.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allah